Welcome to the Enlighten Up podcast, where I am going to take you into a deep exploration of what it means to exist in this current reality. We are going to raise your vibes, open your mind, expand your heart, and dive deep into the wondrous mysteries and possibilities of this lifetime. There's been a spiritual catalyst that has set in motion the awakening process of many across the globe to return to the knowingness of self and unite what has been separated. Together, we're going to bring light into that darkness. We're going to remember the joy of living. But most of all, we're going to turn up the volume of our own eternal power and do the thing we're here to do. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Enlighten Up podcast. As you can see, I am joined by our purple queen, Consuelo Cassotti, back in studio with us today. And she has finally completed her book, which we're going to go into a lot of detail with. Consuelo, how are you doing, my dear? Good to have you back here.
Hi, darling. It's always nice to be invited to do a podcast with you. I always enjoy it. So, we're doing fine. You see, this is my bag here. I love water because we both have some cancer, so we love water, and we maybe can talk more about this, about the water and some information that you just found out. So yes, I'm doing very well, and I have a news, and you know about it. Yeah.
Yes.
So
Well, just before we're going to actually get into some, if for those of you who we're just recording this the day after I put out the video on this darkness being in the air, just the day after the shooting that happened with Charlie Kirk, which has been very sad for a lot of people. And so we're going to kind of get into a deeper understanding of what's really going on because Consuelo has also been feeling very similar things and she's got some information to share with all of you. But before we kind of really jump into that, we want to remind you that we aren't that far away from the retreat and it's still time to get a ticket if you'd like to come. I know some of you have been kind of going back and forth and you're just, I don't know if you're waiting for the right time or there might be some just scheduling adjustments that needed to be made. But just know that you can come to the retreat. There's still a spot or two left, and we'd love to have you there. This will be a very transformational retreat and one where we're going to put a lot of focus on helping you build and strengthen your own container to hold much higher frequencies for longer periods of time so that when you call in what it is that you want for your life, your nervous system doesn't short out and you don't start collapsing under the pressure of those higher frequencies. This is something that happens time and time again. And so we are going to be teaching you methods. One of the methods that I was shown to teach you all was my celestial engineering. And we're going to be talking about using celestial water and why that's important. And we're going to be going into different mudras and hand movements and all different kinds of things that help you strengthen your field and anchor it. So if you're interested in coming to the retreat, the 3-day 180, we are going to be in a brand new place in Eagle Vale, Colorado, deep in the heart of the Rocky Mountains. We'd love to have you there. It's a powerful place and space for us to do the kind of work that we're set to do. So let's get into these energies because they have been extremely heavy. I have felt like it's like this weight, like almost like I don't know if it's like a pushing down, but it just feels very heavy, sometimes suffocating. It's like, it feels like just when you finally, I felt like just like as I get my head above water and I'm treading water and I'm finally getting in some air, another wave comes at me, and it's coming from a different angle in life. And so it's not just one specific area. It feels like it's coming from all directions. And I know that when you and I were talking, that you had also been feeling similar energies. Do you want to share with the audience what's kind of been going on and also some new information that you've received?
thank you. I started at the beginning of this year to feel the shift of energy, and it was not syncing right. It was doing okay, but every time, I say I'm I'm spoiled by spirits. This is my way to talk about me because I always have stuff coming to me, gift or information. Anytime I think about something, it comes to me. And not because AI on the phone, okay? But I really about it's more because really I am so in exactly in the energy, the right energy in the flow. And I noticed this year that I started to see some I call hiccup and more again. And and I noticed in my house, I have some of my clients and people come from my event when I do some bath or other or cacao ceremony. They notice some dark energy around. Some to me sometimes was just like look like a little maybe animal, little critter or a bird. Or but I looking at sometimes I feel like a shadow. So I believe that we are going back and forth from other dimensions. And I'm wondering how much when we go back and forth, we also carrying stuff that we're not supposed to carry here. And so sometimes we're not clean enough. Sorry if I say clean enough, but energetically speaking. And so we bring back in a reality where we're not supposed to be here, something that maybe take a free ride to come in this reality. And I'm wondering how much this create more difficulty on people because a lot of time I feel like there is something that somebody or something because I don't there is no name. It's sabotaging me sometime and make them a little harder everything right now. So people cannot find me or cannot see me. Or they forget about me. And I feel this. Really, I can feel it. And so and it's why a lot of time I remind people I'm here, or I do event. If they forgot about it, they don't remember the time, and I can tell you they want to come. They want to have a session, they want to do stuff with me and something happened. So I believe that all of us, we are in this kind of place where we we want to be more enlightened or we want to raise more our vibration, but some energy maybe is not happy about it.
No,
So,
yes, it does feel like it is a darker energy that doesn't want the energy of those of us working with more light
mhm,
to be successful.
yes,
It feels okay. So I'm getting a message right now that it's because we're on some major precipice of
mhm,
huge transformation and change that we actually have never really seen yet. And so it's like to prevent that change from coming in or slow it down, it's targeting all of us.
yes.
It's not just about maybe targeting leaders like we just saw yesterday, but it's also hitting all of us. And so one of the messages I'm getting very, very strongly right now, this is why I love working with you because it's like, you activate one another and all of that. And this is what happens at the retreat. Like it's so open when I'm with you. Um, one of the messages I'm getting is that if there is anything that you are really being called to do, and like you said, like you're holding certain events and people are forgetting about it or they're not going, whatever, and it could be just appearing benign reasons, but it feels like there are other forces at play that are trying to prevent those of us who are wanting to go to these perhaps events or do the things that we're feeling called to do, to take the next step, whatever that is on your path that you're really feeling pulled to do, but maybe putting it off or delaying it or forgetting about something, whatever it is, it does feel very sabotage like the energy. So it's very important that we stay diligent. It's very important that we pursue and persist forward. This is something actually you were saying that those of us who really do push through will come out of this okay. So do you want to share that as well, what you were getting
I
earlier?
I I think it's to me, I don't want to play dark stuff, whatever. I
I
want to
know.
is a test, is our test. And I'm okay. Is this is testing me? I don't care. I know what I want and I move forward. I go forward. So what I do my best to keep myself balanced enough, grounded enough. So be in the nature, be surrounded, take some moment, rest enough. So, and I put post-it, I'm not kidding sometimes because I'm to the point like sometimes I forgot about it. Like, are you kidding me? This was so important and I forgot about it. So I really take notes, help myself to remember what I want and how I want. So I start to play in my mind and I start to, say, okay, before I go to bed, I start to think about what I want to do tomorrow. And, and I say, I play this movie. And I notice when I do this, I woke up and it's a little easier. It's like to me, it's like I'm going to look for assistant during the night. I'm not sure how, but I have a feeling that all of us, we are assisted, but because it's so unconscious, this in situation, that we need to find a way to say, okay, I'm ready to find some help. I'm okay to find some help. Some support is necessary for me right now.
Oh my gosh, I have never worked with my team more than like this last week or so. I'm constantly calling in my entire team. I'm like calling in the people I don't even know about. I'm like, whoever is there, both known and unknown, like whoever's here to work with me to the highest good and my highest purpose. I'm calling in all the help. I'm like, all my reserves, come on, let's go. Like, I need the help because this has definitely been very difficult to navigate. And I have too found that I have to almost daily be constantly moving and getting into my body. I'm having to do breath work. I'm having to open up my body. It's getting really tight. It's getting really stiff really easy. So I'm having to constantly move the energies, open myself up, really stay in tuned with the flow, not shut down, not closed down. So this is really a time for us to not succumb to it as hard as it is. And trust me, I know there have been moments in the last week or so that have just, I'm like, my goodness, what else can hit me? Like at this point, I literally had a moment like, you know what, maybe I should just give up, like fold it all in. Like I really did have it was a brief moment, but still it was there.
I-
And,
Happened to me. It's happened to me too. Yes,
yeah,
because
yeah, for
maybe I'm not supposed to do this. Maybe and I'm thinking, no, stop. And I immediately say, nope, this is something different. So I
yeah,
can feel it's different. It's not a message. This is not the right thing. I know I'm doing what is good for me. So
yeah,
I
yeah.
need to remind this.
Yeah, because when I think about any other alternative, it's not no, it's a no, right?
Exactly.
And it's so important because this is what's also making us stronger for what's ahead of us. And so this is just the time where, of course, our natural instinct is to maybe want to shrink, to contract, not to expand, not to get bigger, and grow. And that's where we have to really, when it's this uncomfortable, when it's even this painful, that's where we have to go. I was watching, I don't know, this is going to kind of sound silly, but I'm watching that show, the Dallas Cowboys, the gambler and his Cowboys, of the owner of the Dallas Cowboys team. And just watching the docu-series on it. And one of the players, he said something in one of the last episodes where he had to play through pain. And he remembers like one of the things that he was told, he goes, you don't get to play the game unless you can play with pain, and it's almost like this thing of that's part of the game, and the pain is there as a catalyst for change. Whether we like it or not, it is our greatest motivator for change. And we are going through one of the biggest years of change. And so some of us, whether we realize it or not, are unconsciously not wanting that change because of the pain that we have to first go through in order to get to the other side. And of course, it's very rare that we find meaningful change through ease and flow. It doesn't mean it can't happen, but it's just the design of where we are. This is the matrix we signed up to come in and work through. It's part of the human experience. And so, one of the things
But
that is very important that I have been repeatedly told, and I said this on my video last week, was remember who you are. And I keep saying it to myself, Nicole, remember who you are, remember who you are. And I just keep going in and I just pull on whatever reserves I can. I start just doing all the fundamentals, to just whatever I can to muster up extra energy, to open myself up. So, I think that's key and that's very important. And I think it's perfect considering the book that you wrote, which we can talk about in a second. But what are your thoughts on all of that?
so first of all, we need to be very cautious about when we go to the fear because this is the test again. Tell yourself, remember who you are, remember how strong you are, remember how much you have already achieved. So remind yourself how far you went, how far did you go? Because I think sometimes we forget about it, we take it for granted. And instead, take a moment and tell yourself, I know I can handle. And so let go with fear and be I'm open to new possibility. I'm open to success. I know It's part of me. It's part of who I am. So it's
Mm.
very important because it can be a second, but truly is amazing because every time you open up to this little lower energy, like just a second, anxiety, a fear, you give a more power to whatever is fighting you in this moment or, creating some problem on your life. So it's
Mhm.
why be careful about your thought, about yourself, and where how much and if you do it, it's okay, we're humans. It's happened to me too a few days ago,
Mhm.
and so seriously, and I start to laugh and I start to switch and say, okay, no, this is not me, are you kidding me? So, and I switch again and I started to do stuff differently. I start to be more involved in other stuff. So you see, you need to react, don't but react in a good way, not as a reaction for the fear. Okay.
No, I've been taking walks outside. Like I just get up, we go outside. I'll grab Addie, we'll go for a walk. I just realized when I'm in the gym, like I start to instantly feel better. I've been going for my runs. Now I'm doing more yoga, more deep stretching, getting some breath work, grounding my energy, getting close to the floor. Actually, I find myself when I get close to the floor, there's something about that I'm finding soothing and I don't know if it's because I'm obviously it feels more grounding, but maybe it's the stability, but it's just maybe just even just getting closer to earth, the ground. It just, there's something about that. Also, maybe that's the idea of surrender and prayer, when you bow to the ground and all of that. Like, I'm just finding that that has been very helpful as well. I did have a really good dream though, just at the beginning of this week that had gave me some hope. um, because I had a flying dream and it's very rare. Like when I have them, I always remember them because they're so intense and I love them. They're one of my favorite dreams, but I did have a flying dream where I was flying. I remember I was flying really high and then I was going right down across the ocean and I literally skimmed across the ocean. I could feel the water on my belly and on my toes. And then I like got my mind to get myself to come back up and go right up into the sky. Then I started flying over buildings and everything. And I know that when I have these dreams, it means I'm finally rising above. Like I'm in that place of freedom, expansion. So it kind of let me know like whatever you're going through, you're going to be fine. You're getting past it, you're getting through it. So it's just more of stabilizing the foundational energies.
Talking about dream, I had a one just last week and it was very powerful because um, I was in this community, this group of people, a lot of people, different age, and funny because all of them, the same morning, all of us, we have a dream about that everything will be fine and we're so powerful and everything, the new future will be so amazing. So everybody arrived, I don't know where in this community, and started to talk about, I had this dream last night, and I was smiling because I knew exactly that everybody had the same dream because it was time. So
Mm.
me, I was listening to everybody talking and I was smiling because I know, it's happening. So thank God, I'm happy that everybody see this. So I was happy for everybody to see this possibility, and everybody were happy and talking about how beautiful was what they saw in their dream. And they saw the same stuff, all of them. So, and I thought, okay, this is interesting. So it means that we are close. But it's like when you go to the mountain and you're so close to the end and you feel so tired, you feel so hopeless that it's just about literally a few minutes, a few hours, a few days, and you can be there. And sometimes I say, oh no, I give up and I come back. So we are exactly that point where I'm pretty sure we're so close to see this shift complete, but because it's a little harder and it's a little, they they give us some difficulties, some bumps around. So everybody think, oh, it's not worth it to do anymore.
Hmm.
Are losing with we are no power. So don't go there, please. Stay with your focus. We can do it and we are gonna do it.
Yeah. Yes.
This is important.
Yes, we're just going to get through this. We got Virgo solar eclipse coming up, which is going to be another little bit of a doozy. But once we get out of that, like it's going to be a little bit better. So this is just the time to, again, remember who you are. And
Yes.
remember all of the things that you've gone through, not just in this lifetime, but all the lifetimes to prepare for these moments. This is where you have to call on it. Don't be afraid or don't forget that you can call on your guidance team, call on your galactic team, your angelic team, call on every realm that exists that you operate in and your team operates in and call them in. You have to ask, so ask. Don't be
Yeah.
afraid. And
One thing I want to add also is lately, because everybody's so focused in their own situation, it's better to ask for other spirit guides because our friends, it's not that they want to be there for us, but they're so into their own stuff. I'm not kidding. I notice a lot of people are so not heavy, but they're not pay attention to you. They don't see you because they're so into their own stuff. But it's hard to have support by others. So don't think that they're bad people or don't think that there's something very wrong with them. It's just all of us, we are
are
into
going
this
through it.
moment.
Yeah.
And so we cannot pay attention to anything else because we already have our time to pay attention to our life, to our situation. So it's why, like you say, call every beings is possible, your higher self, your spirit guides, your ancestor, ask them, send some help. Let me go through this. Support me. I want to be successful. Giving some support. I
Yeah.
agree.
Yes. And
Talking
so
about
that's very,
support,
very important. Yeah. So let's jump into your book, which is called, show your book to the audience because this is so
uh,
perfect.
uh, of course, is with because it's not already released, but is shaped by past lives. And so this is not just a memoir. It's a memoir reincarnation, so connection with spirit plot twist. So this is not just a memoir. Is this book is very important to me. I wrote the other two books, but this I was telling you that the other two books are nice and talk about sending master and message, the channel, images, autistic children. So I don't say it's easier, but in a way, yes, because you're not so much involved. This book is me, literally it's me. I put myself out completely and open. So I hope you will see this as a good way. I put a lot of irony, humor, because you know me, I cannot do without humor. Otherwise, it's boring. So I wrote about me, but not because I don't want to do a memoir, talk about my life. No, 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 no. This is really about share with you what's happened to me in my life every time I cross path with certain people, or have a lifetime, or I have this intuition or premonition dreams. So what's happened in my life, all of this lifetime, they really shaped who I am today because I met all of these people and they changed completely my perception. Or I fell in love with somebody, but it was for another lifetime, but it was not necessary in this life. So crossing path, it was about my forgiveness. It was about my connection, reconnection, and some other that connect as a galactic family that we are part of maybe in other planets and support each other. So it's really, I want to share this because I want people to see themselves in this book and say, oh, now I know why this happened to me. Or, oh my gosh, I have the same exactly situation, you know. So I want people to understand more. So I give you some explanation. Of course, from my opinion, okay, I'm not a guru. So I just say what resonate with me, what feels right as explanation. And so I think because I put a lot of humor, also the millennials or people that they start to just put their feet in the water, you know, toes in the water, they're gonna like it because it's lighter, easy to read, with some romantic situation. And again, some situation are very deep and dark a little because, you know, it's part of our life. We talk about the witch period or other time. So, but it's really about show that as a soul, we have a lifetime where we have a dark moment too. And it's not just because now we understand more, we didn't have a dark moment or we didn't do something very bad to other people. I think it's very important to give people this balance.
Mhm. Yeah. And your book isn't just talking about past lives here on Earth, it's also about galactic past lives that you may have just encountered yourself. Are there other people in your you've met in this lifetime who you've had past lives within other galactic places or?
Yes, you for sure,
Oh
but I
yeah.
talked to you when you are just here the first lifetime as a human, and I wasn't. I wasn't hybrid. And maybe you can read maybe some part of this. My father, I found out that there was a Pleiadian, my father too. I didn't think about it, but it was Pleiadians because I lost him when I was 2 years old, so I don't have much memory about him,
Hmm.
any memory about him. But you know, and what else? I have a different other. Yes, I have my friend Pilan, that she was a part of the Lion people. So yes, I talk about different situation, and I did my best. You know what is interesting? In my book, I changed the name, so every people beside my brother, of course, and my mom and my dad, I changed most of the name of the people from Italy because most of the people we have some imbalance, and I call karmic cycle to, to close. And here in United States, when I moved here, most of the people I keep their name, and they know that I wrote about them because they're part of my galactic family.
Hmm.
So everything I say is more about support or what the path will be crossed or our lifetime. So it's very interesting to see this change. And I understand why my spirit guide from a beginner, when I met my lovely ex-husband now, by the way, husband, uh, they say, we prepare you all your life to go to United States. And I thought, shoot. And so, because, of course, my galactic family, mostly of them were here. So I need to come over here to
Hmm.
finally find this kind of homecoming, big reunion with all of you. And you are part of them, of course.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. When it comes to the past lives and everything that you've kind of recollected, written down in your book, seen, and maybe also your experience with clients, is there a theme that you can see kind of arising through the lives of whether it's things that are preparing you for this lifetime or that are specific ones that are tied into this lifetime? Because I would assume, maybe I'm wrong for assuming this, but would it be make sense to recall ones that would have more impact on this particular lifetime than, because I'm sure we've had so many lifetimes, like you like to remember them all, you know?
No. So what I'm feeling is we remember most of the time the lifetime that have a big emotional impact in our life. So a lifetime where we were killed, maybe torture, or we lost the family or somebody important, or we have the soulmate. So we felt so in love with somebody, but for some reason something happened and it got killed, or something happened, or I was taken away. So I have a feeling that a lot of time the souls remember more the lifetime where there is a lot of big emotional impact.
Okay.
And the funny part is this is a memory from planet Earth because it's an emotional planet.
Yes.
The memory that I have from as a Venusian, from Venus to lifetime, I talk about my book, Pleiadian, and Lion people or other, they are novice emotions. So I remember them as a memory, but they don't carry the emotion that in this planet, the memory I remember they carry. Makes sense what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Now
Mm-hmm.
it's pointed. It's like in this planet, we have a lot of emotions, be killed, be tortured. I have a feeling that in every planet, the memory that I have are more a memory of connection, heart to heart, do some healing, do some work as a diplomacy work. Most of the time we're doing something where we have more consciousness. And so we don't need to reach that point of emotion or conflict, for at least for what I remember. Mix.
Yeah, and I think too, like it's just it's the culture of Earth, right? It's a very emotional planet. It's Mother Earth. And so it's like going to a country where the culture is very different. So there are other planets or places that we've lived that are very different to the human experience. And so recollecting them from the human position that we're in right now may be not as, I don't want to say as easy, but not have the same connection that you can to your human lives.
And one more thing is, a lot of lifetime I remember, we were telepathic.
Hmm.
So, and I assume that when we have a telepathic ability, we can shield our thought, of course, but not to the point. So probably, I think people tend to be more, I must say open to, but maybe neutral or be more fair or hide less because it's hard to hide.
Hmm.
Because when you are telepathic connect with people, you feel them and you see what they try to explain. So imagine you and I have a conversation. If I use a word, you and I, we can understand each other. But if I use an image and I show you exactly what I mean, I think you can better understand my point of view, my perception, my experience. Make sense? So
Yeah.
it's a different way to share. So it will create a deeper connection, deeper and also neutral connection because you start to see my experience or my idea, my thought from my perspective. Words, they don't give you enough
Hmm.
to understand this. Makes
Yeah,
sense?
well, no, I mean, it's just as simple as dumbing it down to like a text message. You know, a text message can be read with any tone that you want to impose upon it, but if you have the conversation on the phone and you hear their voice and you hear the different intonations and all of that, you're like, oh, that message is very completely different than the way maybe you would have read it, right? And so just take that as a very simple example to what you're saying on a telepathic level.
So probably this is another reason why we can have an emotion, but
Hmm.
probably they're tempered by all of this. So when they reach the point, um, they're not so intense. I don't know. This is what I'm
Yeah.
feeling. Is what I felt as a every time I was tapping some memory from a planet. It was it was strong, but not to the point.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
humans are more like okay, I gotta do stuff, and so and yes, like
Yeah. So would you like to share anything from the book? Like, where would you like to start?
um I don't know. Just to show you, when I can talk about my Venusian time as a Venus in Venus. What is very interesting. What I realize is that um, sometimes we, I wasn't about the Venus time is I have a memory, one of it, the two lives I'm talking about when I died when I was pretty young, just a little girl. And I draw in the river and I see my parents, having kind of picnic with other people and they're talking, they're distracted. And what's happened is I see the lights and on the water and I'm so catch by stuff, 2, 3 years old probably. And I fell in the water and I draw. Okay. And my parents, when they catch me, it was too late, so they cannot save me. So, and it was interesting to see that as soon as I finish that lifetime, I come back. So this is very interesting because I come back immediately, of course, another body. And
Hmm.
out of this lifetime was I was a diplomat, and I remember, in fact, I was smiling because it reminded me, I don't know if you remember Star Trek, maybe. There is this empath, this woman, and one of the new series where this woman was an empathic person, and she can feel if you say the truth or not, just to listen to you, and she was able to be an empathic. So in that time, I was one of them. I was one of these, I was a female again, and I was one of these women that were able to feel what people, not just the thought, scanning the thought, but also the emotion. And so I was able to say, if I write during maybe some negotiation or some diplomatic activity, I was able to do this. So, and it's why, okay, if I found it, finally, sorry, I'm looking for,
No,
I need to
yeah.
go after. I cannot remember the number. So what I'm saying is, it was easy to to do in this way. And I thought, this is interesting because Venus, okay, 7. The title of my chapter, Venus, is a stamp on my soul's passport, because I felt that it was really something that again. Okay. So I'm talking about this. I see myself as an adult now, and I have different parents. I am female and feel regal. I believe my origins are noble. I'm wearing a long, soft, elegant tunic with large sleeves. And I live in the capital city. I am part of a council and we lead our town. We are telepathic. It's a peaceful life. Everywhere I go, I'm recognized. A couple of pass close to me and they look at me telepathically. They greet me and I respond. I reconnect to my action and who I am. So I respect it for my action and who I am. I know I observe situations from different perspectives using skills that improve negotiation. I use image and emotion to help convey various points of view. So you see, it's why I was telling you, I think being telepathic helped a lot to have different way to see stuff. Now I stand at the edge of a square with a large black and white marble, like a checkbook. I remember I saw this black and white, like a checkboard floor, big, huge, and it was square, beautiful place. So the building around the plaza are mostly pearlescent white, slightly modern and decorated with many arches. With this is where we gather with population to announce important matters. Everything around us is elegant and harmonious. So a man started to speak nearby. I'm not sure if he's using words or is communicating telepathically. I heard his voice inside my head saying, "It's so nice to be back and be able to inform everybody that we have no reason to worry about the races that arrived a few days ago. They mean well, and they let us scan their minds so we can see that they are very calm and in peace." You see, it's why I say we have this opportunity to know more about people and understand more other races, because as an empath and telepathic people, we're more open to listen in a different
Hmm.
way. Make sense?
Yeah. Yeah. So
So it's
what was can you recall any differences or similarities between Venus and Earth?
oh yes. When I was young, I was not okay. Venusian women are very oval. In fact, there is a one painter in Italy, Modigliani is his name, and he was painting this oval face with a long neck, very elegant women. And my mom, when I was painting similar faces, my mom said, "They look like an extraterrestrial. We're not human." I know why, because memory of the Venusian. So, but remind me so much the African women. You know, the African women, but not the necks, they have this kind of ring in their neck,
Hmm.
same kind of silhouette. So every time, in fact, I now I know why I always love them. Every time I say, they are so noble, they are so beautiful. And I can figure out why I love them, but they remind me, these women for Venus, that the skin was more pearlescent because it's how they are, but the way that the posture, the way that they carry themselves, so with this nobility, with a sense of regal, okay? And it's something that is hard to explain, but I notice sometimes certain people in the planet. So I believe that some of us remember this in a certain level. And some maybe tribe, they have some seeds, who knows, maybe some Venusian or maybe they came here from who knows where, what I'm saying. So um, Venus was beautiful to me. Remind me a little of the Lord of the Ring. When I see the movie Lord of the Ring,
Hmm.
where the elves lives, seems very similar as a place.
Okay.
Because I remember so much light, pearlescence, marble, all of these beautiful, a lot of arches, but the color are so rich of vibration, but not like a bright color, but they blend together and it feels full of energy and light at the same
Harmony.
harmony. Yes.
Yeah,
And
that's why Venus represents harmony, like it's one of her qualities. Yeah.
yes, and of course I'm Taurus, is why my passport is
Yeah, and
Taurus.
yeah. So that's really interesting. Um, so Do you want to share with the audience our first past life together?
Yes,
Because this is also interesting. It's important for people to know that when you're coming to Earth, you don't necessarily quickly go into being a human form, meaning it's not that you would necessarily be an animal or anything like that, which you could totally be an animal. You could be human, then animal, like whatever. But it's more about perhaps being a hybrid version of a human first.
yes. So this is a book about you. See?
A promise kept. Oh, really? Oh my. Okay.
So I started to talk about you when we met, and so, but okay, and I decided to go with a romantic and in present tense when I talk about the memory because I live in the moment, so I want to use the present.
Hmm.
Nicole is a baby girl born in a village in Mongolia. This is her first life on this planet. She decided to be born here where she would meet me and receive some training from my group and me. So I'm already Altean. So I'm a village. I'm the Altean anthropologist whose spacecraft crash landed in nearby mountains. I was rescued by the same people from the village when Nicole was born. So you see, the connection started with my crash.
So the people in my village rescued you.
Yes,
Yeah.
funny.
Okay.
So to respect their development, I carefully share basic knowledge about hygiene, agriculture, avoiding drastic change to their way of life because we don't want to influence them too much. My goal is to help them manage their daily life better. A girl, Nicole, 4 or 5 years old, I didn't know your name. I cannot figure out your name, but it's okay. Approached me. As soon as I gazed at her, I recognized her. So I remember that the look on the eyes told me, oh, it's you immediately. And also when I do my karmic release and I search for other people or clients, I can, from the eyes, I recognize the soul. It's
Hmm.
amazing how much is
Hmm.
recognized. So she's one of us. Okay. Her soul has chosen to be incarnated as a human for the first time. So your soul was very, I believe it was very like mine, but your body was human. So it's kind of hard. I connect with her soul and she asked me to support her and be her teacher. They trust me, talk about the parents, and Nicole's parents welcome me. So her parents trust me and welcome me in their lives, and I visit the village regularly, even though my base was in the Himalayas, so it was not easy, but whatever. Nicole is quickly. She's intuitive, bright, and naturally gifted in telepathy. Ha 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 ha. You see? So, you see, it's easy because you are carrying the memory of your soul. So it's why we have some stuff. So I stay as long as possible. I need to return. So this Mongolia group is nomadic. I can talk. So I talk about stuff. So and so you become a shaman in the place. So I don't know what to say, but Nicole is growing. She's a fast learner. I thought everything I can. Over time, she became the village shaman leader. I'm proud of her. Our connection is deep and we'll eventually live for good. We promise to find each other again in another lifetime.
I remember when you recalled this lifetime for me. And you didn't actually, I don't remember you saying the shaman part. But I do remember that it was like my first lifetime and I chose it to be a very easy one. Like there wasn't a lot of conflict. My family was wonderful. I was always supported by people in the village. And that even when I was older and passing away, like in my last moments of life, I was surrounded by all my family, all my loved ones. Like it was a very nice, easy start to Earth.
Yes. In fact, I didn't know so I came back again to search on this life because, oh, let me see more. And I saw this part, oh, now I understand why. So, and that also this explains why you were so respected and so loved by your people. I
Mm,
think because you're a shaman, so, and your gift, your ability help them to feel safe, to help them to find a solution. The shaman were counselor. The shaman were listening to the village. The people came to them to have some information, some, maybe a counselor, counseling was important and maybe some healing too. And I think you have a gift as an Altean to do this. And so is why, in a way, it was easy for you, for our perspective, but it was a life where you know how to do it.
hmm.
Okay? So it makes sense.
Well, even in this lifetime, I find myself, I've always been involved in healing. Everything that I've done has always been in maybe different ways, but it's always been healing. And even in the last few years, I would say the last 3 to 4 years, I have been awakening that shaman within me that has been alive, probably not just that lifetime, like many lifetimes. And I've allowed the knowing that has lived before to come through, as opposed to maybe going to certain shamanic schools or any. And again, it's not that there's anything wrong with that at all. I think it's beautiful. But for me, I felt it was important to just remember and allow it to come through and speak through and present itself and discover it as it's coming through stronger and stronger, which the retreats have definitely been a huge catalyst and factor of bringing a lot of those shamanic qualities online.
Sure. And the fact that you feel so attached to the mushroom, the ayahuasca, is
Hmm.
telling you, but you still have this root in something. And of course, you're using your own intuition to do it. I was shaman. As in my book, I talk about the shaman's ego and heart. In one life, I was terrible shaman. I was using my power as a male. I was using my wife and my children like a nothing. You know, I was not nice to them, and I was nice to anybody because to me, I was greedy and I wanted power. I want to be recognized. Look at me, how good I am. Look at me, how bad I can be. And the second lifetime, I was a woman. I was in Peru. I was surrounded by all of his children. I don't know how many children we have. My husband and I, we're so happy. And everybody can come in my house and everybody have a piece of food, something to eat, a piece of bread. So it was totally different way to be a shaman. And it was
Hmm.
so beautiful to see this opposite way to live,
The
you know,
contrast.
ego and heart. It
Hmm.
was so beautiful because I finally blend more who really I am,
Hmm.
putting that together. But as I've explained to you why, when I was young, I was afraid to be a shaman. I was afraid to connect with shaman or the shamanism because probably I have a memory of being a bad guy.
Yes. And it's funny because I was just speaking to a client this week who I believe is also struggling with allowing herself to expand into more of her power and work with people who would maybe be seen in more leadership, would have more of an impact on the world from where they stand. And it was this idea of it's a fear of power, which is what I see all the time with clients. It's one of the reasons why I work with it at the retreat. And I actually, it's funny you say that because I have just even, I think it was like maybe 2 weeks ago, I just did a very small amount of mushrooms, and put on my headset and my music. And when I work with the energies, I sometimes like to go into the bathrooms to look at myself in the mirror because I see all these different versions of myself come through. And sometimes when I'm working with the energy, I can feel the parts of me that maybe abused the power. And I'm like, well, this is interesting. And it's very important that when these parts of you present themselves, that you don't fear them, that you just observe them with neutrality. Because all it was another experience, right? And I understand, I trust myself so much in this life to know that I wouldn't allow for those to infiltrate into this life. It's just I've already done it. I don't need to do it again. But I think it's important to understand that when we're working with these energies, that's always possible, but you always have the choice.
Right.
And I think it's also important to remember who you are and what motivates you. And that kind of power doesn't motivate me, like it doesn't drive me. It doesn't feed my soul on why I do what I do. So I'm really not worried about when those start to kind of come up in my journeys. It's more of an acceptance of myself, that is coming through that I think is so important because it's important to be able to view all aspects of ourself, both good and shadow aspects, and to not necessarily label them as good or bad, but as the experience to provide you the contrast to see the beauty of both because you can't really see the beauty of one without the contrast of the other. So I just found that really interesting because I'm like, at first it's a little like, ooh, what's this energy, right? And then I'm like, oh, okay. And I'm like, all right, well, let me just look at you, let me feel into you. And I'm like, okay, I remember this. And it's like, but I think it's really important to
Affected.
know that we are so strong in
Yes.
this lifetime to know who we are and what we're here to do, and to not fear that you're going to succumb to such older energies that you've already lived.
I agree. I agree with you. It's why I was saying, yeah, when I was young, I was a little, I was looking everything far away because I felt the energy and I cannot figure out what it was. Now I'm okay.
Hmm.
Because with the age, you learn about yourself, you understand more about who you are. So it's okay. You can handle. You can see stuff that comes to you that is bad, but first of all, forgive yourself and forgive anybody else because truly everybody has this experience. So
Not
you,
only that, but you need to know those energies in order to know how to work with them so they don't impact you or others around you, right? Like, for instance, doing the shamanic work that we do at the retreat, knowing those energies and how they operate, because I've been there before in other past lives, I know how to handle them. I know what needs to be done. So it's like, it's very important to not fear them, but just to understand them so that you still remain in your own mastery.
yes, in fact, there is one chapter in my book, but I call it, and I name it, um, Soul Memories Awakened by Simple Things, because exactly like you said, you go through some moment and you have this connection and you know how to do it and you don't know how I know this stuff, you know. And, it can be cooking certain recipe and thinking, how I didn't know, but it seems so natural to cook this stuff, to put together this food, this ingredient, or or in some kind of emergency situation, you know how to do it and say, how do I know how to do it? And you do it. So it's the same for you. When somebody has some moment with a mushroom, you know how to do it because you tap in the memory as a shaman or as a healer from our lifetime.
Hmm.
So it's why we do this. And I talk about little thing can be just enough to open a little memory. And it disappears. When it's done, you don't remember much anymore. It's
Hmm.
funny, right? Most of the time, you don't have any connection about what I did it, and I don't. It's like sometimes I do stuff and say I did it, and if you ask me how did I do, I cannot remember.
Yeah.
It's exactly this.
Yeah.
It's like you tap in the consciousness information that you carry in this whatever place and belong to you most of the time. Sometimes belong also to others, but mostly belong to you as experience in other lifetime.
Hmm. Hmm.
That's what we
And
do.
it's just a form of channeling.
Yes,
Hmm.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly, exactly.
Do you want to share one more? Maybe the one where your Atlantean lifetime that you
Okay.
recall?
Now I have the Atlantean, Atlantis. Okay, I call Atlantis origin behind heart because Earth. My gosh, Earth and heart for me is the same in this lovely English. So this is a lifetime that I was not so happy, but so okay, I talk in this way. I knew the soul was immortal and I travel across galaxy like some weekend flights. Let's be honest, we are below extraterrestrial, all of us. Earth isn't my first planet. It's just one of the many cosmic pit stop on my soul's interstellar tour. So I do this. So the truth is the whole Consuelo identity is just one colorful bead in a long cosmic necklace. The rest of me is scattered across timelines, dimensions, celestial zip codes, living, learning, and probably wearing much cooler outfit and natural purple hair. So I believe that in another lifetime I have a purple hair, never place. So do you find this hard to wrap around your head? We're not alone. Past, present, future, all parallel are intertwined like an intergalactic angel air spaghetti or soul experience. So naturally, I decided it was time to figure it out. Or when the first time I set foot energetic print on the planet Earth. So when people ask me about how many lifetime you have it, I smile because are you kidding me? My first human experience was exactly what most people picture. No caves, mammoth, or animal skins. Okay, because my story becomes a place that, according to the legend, existed before recorded history, Atlantis. In that lifetime, it wasn't much a first step on Earth, and uh, I was a descent from the star. So what I recollect is I was Atlantis, or they call us Atla, Atlee. So that is the name I remember. I'm a priestess born with a deep knowledge of sacred duty. My skin is a luminous blue. I'm not kidding. Like, you remember when the Indian diva, they have a story of blue skin and red eyes. This was me. I'm not kidding. Like blue skin, born with deep knowledge. So smooth and iridescent. My eyes shine a deep crimson, so like really red, glowing like embers. This is not art, and I know now, but it was like an enchanted. When I look around, it's like this is the planet Earth, but it's not, because it was Atlantis. It was different. So
Mm-hmm.
it was like a bubble around. Okay, so it was not the same situation. My lineage traced back to Adara, part of the Viga system, a civilization once known by the Indian Vedic text as a blue skinned gods who descend from the stars. So I
Okay.
was one of this descendant. Okay, I
Yeah.
was not a god, but they are so like a god. As I walk barefoot along the beach, I see myself going to the beach. I hear the sound of the ocean beside me. I head rising from the waters is a large crystal pieces, enormous quartz formation. I'm not kidding. When I saw it, it's like huge, so big, like, oh my gosh, huge quartz crystal
Oh.
coming out of the water. And at the top, it was a little yellow, little like a salt, like a sulfur, it was very funny, but it was beautiful. I think it was more like a citrine quartz, natural citrine. So it was huge, big, enormous, big. So the tallest among them is at least 50, maybe 60 feet high. I resemble giant shard of ice under the sunlight. A pointed crown shimmering with golden yellow hues. These are not ordinary crystal. They pulse with a life of their own. I can feel the home in my bones. So when I was closing, I felt like in my bones, in my body was vibrating with them.
Mm.
So something that we cannot explain in this reality.
Yeah.
What I'm saying, like, shoes, how are you gonna say this stuff? So, in a space behind my eyes and in a space between toes. So they're ancient receivers. So they are ancient receivers and transmitters, alive with knowledge and power. When I extend my hand towards them, I feel the magnetic thread between us, a connection like a visible cord of energy. They know me and I know them. So what it was is I was a channeler from them. So I was used by my people to connect with them and use the energy to create situation like the weather or other situation. And I was receiving some messages. So it was like amplify my thought, amplify also my power. So I was able to do stuff, but I was very neutral. So in fact, one of the parts that I didn't like about this lifetime was I didn't have any lovers, I didn't have any family, because I was chosen from the early age, and I was chosen to be that girl because probably my abilities, and I was not supposed to have any lover, any emotions, be completely neutral. So nothing was wrong in that life, but I felt empty,
Mm.
totally empty. I felt like I was the tool for my people.
Yeah.
And I kept myself in the way because it was very important to be without emotion. I know it sounds weird.
No, yeah. Well, I mean, the state of neutrality is very important for mastery, right, of this work.
Yeah.
So when you say these large crystal, like shark, was it a big shark? When you first said it, I was like, oh, were they like whales breaching like the water, or was it just like always there?
Uh, I felt it always there, but my question is, what was there for, and maybe what was brought here? You know what I'm saying? Because who knows?
Hmm.
Because it could be that we have an engineer way to grow them bigger.
Okay.
Because what my first thought was they were not too completely natural, but maybe we have the ability to grow them from maybe imagine a small crystal. It can be big, but not big like that. And we have some kind of way with some kind of energy that they can help them to grow bigger and bigger and bigger and become this transmitter that we needed in Atlantis. So
Okay.
I felt that I felt natural, but not completely natural when I was looking at them because they have this kind of color and everything was a little different. So I never found, you know how many crystals I have in my house and I love crystals. So I never found anything similar.
Mm-hmm.
And as a vibration, as I see them, okay, as a aesthetically see them. So what I'm saying is I have a feeling that we have this ability to grow them, to make them bigger and bigger and bigger, and to it's like a bringing tools to new planets where we can use it to transmit, communicate, and use the energy. And I think that they're using to create any kind of energy in the city. So
Okay.
Atlantis was supported by these incredible crystals, and I was the one that kind of controlling them. Control is the wrong word, but commanding them when it was necessary, or adjusting the energy, or or oriented the energy to what was needed.
Yeah.
And I felt also we have this kind of bubble around the Atlantis, like a shield,
Mm-hmm.
kind of like a dome. And I
Do
wonder
you
if,
feel like Atlantis was at the time operating in a different dimension?
yeah, is
Yeah.
what is why I say I was here, but I was not here. It's like
Yeah. That's
not
what
to
it
say,
felt like to me when you were describing it. When you said,
yeah,
as soon as you said the dome at the beginning, I was like, oh, it was a different dimension.
yeah. I
So,
so I was here, but not completely here. It's why
mhm.
this was my first time, as I remember. When I asked, let me see when I came here and they showed me this. Oh yeah, but it was maybe the beginner to another dimension and maybe to start to create this connection to the planet. So I
Yeah, I
felt
feel like that's why certain parts of Atlantis will never be found because they weren't operating in this dimension.
yes, I agree with you. And it was at the time where everything seems to be at the beginning of
Mm.
everything. So
Yeah.
we're starting to experiment, starting to create this kind of little heaven.
Yeah.
And and I believe that not human were allowed to go there, but I believe the human didn't know about it. So probably because of a dome or because of different dimensions, I don't think that we're able to come to our place. I felt we are safe and guarded enough and very, very advanced compared to the human here.
Hmm. Hmm.
So this was my feeling. But
Yeah.
it was kind of not happy, like not say happy, but it was like, okay, nice to know, But
Yeah.
it was not like, oh my gosh, you know, no, no ego, no power. It's like I was a tool. I felt myself like a tool for my people. And I was trained to be a tool and I was okay about it. So I, yeah, maybe but I didn't have a sadness. I felt like I felt empty. I felt
Yeah.
sad when I saw me,
Yeah, sure. I know what you mean.
but and that life it had this purpose, and this was my goal, and this was why I was born, and I accepted because I know it was okay.
Hmm.
Make sense?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I mean, even still, it's kind of like when we think about anyone who's got some sort of psychic or intuitive gifts, one of the things like that, a lot of people who maybe don't have a lot of experience with that, or they're just opening up new to that, you could be at a party and someone will be like, oh, like let this person read your field, or like they'll tell you about whatever, your past lives, or whatever it is, and you almost feel like you're like the monkeys, like the circus is monkey, like that kind of thing. And it's like, I don't need to perform for anyone, like, and so I can see how it's a little bit different, but it's kind of similar to what you're explaining. And so I see how like even that feeling can come through in this lifetime for some of us who just feel like we're being used for that reason. But then once that's done, like we're kind of not thought about or not really connected with. And yeah.
Yes. Yes. Oh, yes. And truly, in my book, I share what I thought was nice to share, but I have so much more.
Yeah. Well, okay. So
But
where can people get this book? Like, when is it available?
the book is going to be available the 29th of September
Okay.
in Amazon. So put my name, the book is gonna show up. You can already pre-order the Kindle because Kindle is already ready to be pre-ordered.
Okay.
It's $5.55, 555.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Perfect.
You know how much I love master
I
numbers.
know, because I was like, those are the goddess codes, Consuelo,
Yeah.
555.
So, and I choose the 29 because I found out to my best friends from Italy that the 29 is the day of Archangel Michael, Gabriel, and Raphael. They are like is a day for them to celebrate them. I thought, in this moment with a lot of dark energy around us, let us bring some lights. Okay. So I want to give some light to my book. And it's a numerology, it's number two, really
Hmm.
two, 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 like, okay, whatever. And of course, it costs $22.
Okay. I love it.
I choose $22 after I found out it was number two.
Yeah.
Okay. 29 is gonna be 29, 9, 9, 9, 20. So it's number two. So
Okay.
it's gonna be available. And I also find a way to everybody can buy us at Apple Store or Barnes and Noble. So the electronic book, the ebook is gonna be available in every country, by the way. And I just don't know how to do the link, but I'm gonna do my best. I hope I can give you the link as soon
Yeah.
the video you post the podcast. But in case, just I know that you can find put my name and you're gonna find anywhere because I put the ebook available to any places. I'm not kidding
Okay.
because I want people to find me. And
Yes.
if
So as of as of now, the book is available on Kindle. So if anyone wants the e-version,
yes,
they can get that
every
now. If they
yeah.
want to wait for the book, or maybe they want to do both, who knows? But can they pre-order the book?
Yes, they can pre-order the Kindle version, only the
Oh,
Kindle.
only the Kindle version. Okay, so they have to wait until the 29th to be able to
Yeah,
order.
I don't know why, but they don't allow me to do
Yeah.
the.
Okay.
And I'm preparing also the audiobook, but unfortunately they say that until it's not published, we cannot do audiobook. So I'm working on this. I don't promise anything, but I'm working on do also the audiobook and see
Okay,
if
the
it's
audiobook, yeah.
okay. So, but again, this is something that I never did before, so let me figure it out first,
Yeah,
okay?
yeah. Okay. Well, that's wonderful. So I will leave the links below. And of course, if you guys have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to Consuelo. Oh, yes, and her Oracle deck, her cacao Oracle deck.
And don't forget about this. If you want to have an oracle deck painted by me, welcome. But you can find in soul-bloom.com for more information. The book is not here yet, but I will put them this, yeah, probably when you're gonna
Okay.
look. Yes,
So I will also leave all of these links for the Oracle deck, the books, all of that will be in the show notes below the YouTube video. Wherever you're watching this podcast, listening to this podcast, you'll be able to find it. And of course, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to Consuelo herself. I'll leave her
Let,
email.
let me know if somebody you read my book. Let me know what you feel about it because I want to know. I want to know how people feel about
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
What you
Because
feel.
you never know, it might awaken something for yourself from your own life. That's one of the reasons why Consuelo did this book was to help you remember your own or connect and understand. And of course, don't forget the 3-day 180 retreat is September 25th here in the Rocky Mountains of Colorado, a beautiful location, the perfect container for you to strengthen, build, and expand what you are calling into your life right now so that it doesn't just slip in and out of your hands as it comes through, because that's one of the biggest problems that so many of us experience is calling in what we want but then not having a strong enough container to hold it and anchor it. So that's going to be something that we are working on, as well as any healing that you need, that you are looking for that retreat. Everything will be customized for you in your own personal journey. We'd love to have you join us. There is still time to get your ticket. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to email me, Nicole at NicoleFrolick.com, or just fill out the application on the retreat page and let me know if you have any questions there. Uh, Consuelo, thank you so much for coming on the show. It was wonderful to have you there. I love that we had our
Oh,
very first life in Mongolia and that you were a crashed ET. Your spaceship crashed and the village helped you. And just, I love it. I love how things really do come full circle in many ways.
Yes.
It's very interesting. So I definitely suggest you should all go grab that book, whether it's Kindle or the hardcover, whatever you prefer. Definitely let all your friends know who are interested in past lives. If there's anyone who has a wealth of knowledge on this subject, it is Consuelo. So go support her. This is one of the best ways that you can support her work. Guys, we love you. Have an amazing week, and hopefully we'll see some of you at the retreat. We love you, and we'll be with you soon.
Thank you. Bye again. Bye bye.
Bye. Thanks again for joining me for another show on the Enlighten Up podcast. I love you guys so much for all of your continued support. So remember to raise your vibe, find your tribe, and be open to the infinite possibilities held in the mysteries that surround us all. Thanks again for sharing the show with your family and friends. And if you're new to the show and you need to find out more information about me, please head on over to my website, NicoleFrolick.com, where you can join my newsletter. And please follow me on Instagram, Telegram, and YouTube. Keep your light bright, and I'll see you next week.